All right, welcome back to the coding live stream August 2020 challenge bet thingamajig that I've been working on over the past few days. Actually, over the past month, basically, almost the entire month. For anyone new to the channel, this is a coding channel where I just basically code and problem solve and explain my thinking, and you could hear how I'm like solving these problems of these programming challenges. But for this month, I made a bet with one of my friends to live stream myself for 60 hours this month, and my friend had to do 10 workouts as his side of the bet, and he completed it last night. Whereas for me, I have a bunch of hours to go, which I'll show you in just a second. If you are new, I would suggest scrolling all the way to the end of this video to see what the finished product is, because this is a live stream. I actually don't really know what I'm going to end up making over the next about 4 hours or so. I plan on streaming for 4 hours. We might have some issues with the internet, so I might have to restart the stream a few times. So if you're catching this in the future and you notice that there's like a live stream 14, part 1, part 2, part 3, that's because my internet went down and I had to restart the stream. And for anyone that's watching this live, I apologize if that happens, because I know it's probably annoying to keep seeing my the thumbnail for this stream keep popping up in your subscription feed. It has cost me a bunch of subscribers already, so this challenge has not been fruitful for my subscriber base. I don't think, but I'm doing it. I decided to do it, and it's been fun to force myself to have to do this. For the most part, it's been fun, but I kind of miss making like more curated videos that are a little bit better for learning. This isn't really a good learning. This isn't really a good learning series because I get stuck a lot. You get to see the struggles, but you don't really get to see a good, nice finished product that's easily digestible. And what I mean by that, it's like these videos aren't. No one's going to sit here for 60 hours and watch me, really. Whereas if I was able to cut up the videos and like edit them down and like explain what I'm doing in a nice, concise manner, I could make 5-10 minute videos where someone could actually learn something. But this is not that. This is just me live streaming, coding, hanging out, and talking to you. So if you join in on one of these live streams, feel free to come in, say hi, or give me a shout out, or give someone else a shout out, and that is perfectly acceptable. All right, so I chose this picture because a lot of the times when I'm coding, I feel like I have no idea what I'm doing. So I have to stop sometimes and remind myself that, I have learned a lot of this stuff. I do know a lot of this stuff. I do know what I'm doing sometimes, but a lot of the time I don't. And that's okay. You have to be comfortable being uncomfortable when you're coding or when you're doing or learning computer science, because there's no one that knows everything. So it's normal to feel like you don't know what you're doing, and it's okay. And I have to remind myself that. So that's why I chose this picture. Plus, I like dogs, so it's kind of a funny picture. All right, so without further ado, I will mention that I just ran a packet loss test before, and I had a bunch of dropped packets, so my connection didn't seem like it was doing well. So I restarted the modem, and I ran the test again, and it looks like some of the packets are coming in late. So for anyone that's been learning about networking, maybe in AP Computer Science Principles or just like in college or something, my packets are not arriving on time, and before they weren't even arriving at all. So they were getting lost on their journey back to my computer. So yeah, I don't think this is a good result, but this could be the reason why my stream ends up going down in a little bit. But just so you all know, I figured I'd put that up. All right, now, let me get the timer started. I keep forgetting to start the timer. So right now we're at 36 hours, 7 minutes, and 40 seconds. So that means we have 24 hours to go. Almost exactly 24 hours to go. One full day out of the next week. All right, so let me start this timer, and we see that it's moving up. And we're good. By the way, that timer that you see at the bottom right of my screen, I created on Livestream 1. So if you want to see how that was done using JavaScript, feel free to go to Livestream 1 and you could see the process of making that timer. And I think I did that in about 3 hours. So it took me a while. I had to go through it slowly. I had I faced a lot of bugs that I had to debug, but it took about 3 hours to figure that out. That was a fun stream. All right, so what we've been working on is a form submission web app that allows people to type in like their information, hit the submit form, and then that will go to a database. So that information goes to a database, and I just happened to make a front end. This here at the bottom, I made it so that we could retrieve things from the front end. So let me just reload the page so you can see that right now it's just, you don't see anything down here. Someone could click on this Get Forms button and then hit our server, which hits our database, which returns back all of the items in the database, all of the forms that have been submitted. So that would be good, useful. That would be useful for the admin that needs to see all of these form submissions. Not good for the users. They should not be able to see everyone else's forms or everyone else's data or information. But just to get this working, I'm going to show you, just to show you what I'm doing. Let's put in Albert Einstein. Yesterday we were able to get some of the, we were able to put warnings for the user. So someone that's doing this maybe doesn't put an appropriate email address or doesn't fill it in after they click in the box. It comes up with a little warning that says, type in a valid email, bro. So now the person knows that they have to type in a valid email. If they don't, that little warning does not go away. So even if they do ASDF at ASDF and they don't put the .com or .net or .edu or whatever it is, there you could see that it'll go away if it's done correctly. Same thing with the file number. If they don't type in a 6 or 7 digit file number, it won't be accepted. So even if they put 6 characters, a string, those aren't numbers, so they cannot get away with it. All right, but if they do put a 6 or 7 digit number, that's good. If they put 8 digits, they get the warning again. They have to choose a school, and actually, now that I think about it, I think there was a bug. There was a bug in my code yesterday. Something I noticed was right at the end, right at the tail end of the stream, I noticed that people were able to submit forms even if they hadn't selected all of the fields. So maybe I missed one in my HTML, or maybe I made another mistake somewhere else. So we'll see if we can find that. We'll spend some time and try to find that. But I'm not going to go crazy right now trying to get it working. Okay, so let me just make sure that we are streaming. I think we're good. Yes, we are good. Okay. No dropped frames. It looks like we're streaming well. That's great. Okay, so let me just see if I could recreate that bug or do it again. So right now I can't submit the form. It might be hard to tell, but this submit form button is disabled. If they choose a program, it's still disabled. And then if they choose a training, then it should become enabled. So you see that it becomes like a darker blue. But yesterday I noticed that there was a bug. Maybe I think when they clicked another program name. Yeah, so if they clicked another program and it said, if they selected another program, it didn't reset the fact that they didn't choose the training. For some reason, it thinks that, I guess the front end thinks that that the user has selected something. Now let me just see if that's because maybe I missed a required somewhere. Let's go back to our component. That is the training date and time. No, it has a required right there. So what's happening is it thinks that the form is valid once I choose one program and switch to another. For some reason, it thinks that the form is valid even though it's not. So maybe what I could do is every single time, here's what I'm thinking. Every time that someone clicks on one of these programs, we make sure that the form is not valid somehow. So let's see if we can do that. So so that is being handled. When I click on a program name, when I click on one of these radio buttons, that is being handled in this component. When I click on one of those, so that is my select program handler. I should make sure that somehow I make the form invalid again. So I wonder if I could access, actually maybe I could just access the form. I mean, if they select a program, can I just directly make that? Let's see if I could just make it invalid. So when they select a program, so on this handler method, so this function gets fired off whenever someone selects a program, because that is what I have here in my HTML. Right up here, when someone selects a program, we run the selected program handler. And for some reason, after you do it once, it makes it valid. But if you choose another program, you should be forced to have to choose another training. And so, I mean, maybe I think it might be just a hack that I'm doing right now. But let's see if we can do that. Let's see if we can just do form. Actually, hold on. What did I call this form? F. Or no, the form. I could access it by using using that property name. So it's the form. Maybe I could do this dot the form dot valid equals not valid, or maybe I could set it equal to I don't want to set it equal to. So this is what I'm thinking. I was thinking maybe I could do this dot the form dot valid, and so what this would do, this line of code would flip its value. So if it's valid, it would turn it invalid. If it's invalid, it would turn it valid. But the reason I don't think I want to do that is because on the first run, so let me refresh. Let me show you what I mean. I think I can anticipate a possible bug. Let me save this first. All right, so we saved it. What is going on? Cannot assign to valid because it's a read-only property. Okay, so we can't even do that. Okay, so valid is read-only. You know what I could do? I can console.log the value of this dot the form dot valid. And I'm going to just put like some text over here and say valid or not, question mark. And now when I click on a program handler, if I inspect the element, or if I open up my console, I should be able to see if okay, so I got to fill out everything again. Let me make sure that I fill it out so it's valid. If I choose a program name, right now it should say valid or invalid, question mark, and then say the value of that property. So let's look in the bottom right in our console, and it says true. Okay, so that means that right now it's valid. That's not what we want. The form shouldn't be valid until this training is selected. And it doesn't make sense either, because if the value is valid, then how come I can't submit the form? How come this button is not enabled? Why is that? This dot the form dot value dot selected program. That's extremely odd, because it seems like if the form is valid, then in our component, our submit button should be enabled. It shouldn't be disabled if it's true. What happens if I click on another? Let me go back to my front end, and if I click on another, it should tell me if it's valid or not. Now it says false. That is extremely weird. So the first time I clicked the program name, it said true, so it was valid. The entire form was valid, and that doesn't seem right. And then the second, like when I click on another program name, now it says invalid, or it says false. What happens if I choose a training? and then select another program. Now it's back to true. If I select another program, still true. Oh my goodness, that is not good. Why is that? Let me see if I could see what the form actually contains every single time I click it. So let me just do this.the form. So when I do click on a program name, it should send me back the object, or it should show what the object currently holds. So right now, actually, it doesn't show it because it's a object. So maybe I could show it on the front end by, oh no, not on the front end. This.theform.value maybe? Let's try again now. No, it still gives me object. What's in that object though? Value. Status change submitted, touched, valid, values, value changes, pristine, ng submit. Maybe this dot the form dot form dot. Actually, let's see what happens if I try to see the form property of the form object. I know it sounds like I just repeated myself, but if I click on one, no, it still says object. That doesn't help me. That's really annoying when you can't see inside of an object, or I got to figure out a way to make sure I show what's inside that object. I mean, maybe I could do the, okay, form.value. Maybe now I can see the value. Let me hit save. Let's see what happens if I click on a program name. Still says object. That is not what I want to see. It's annoying when it doesn't work the way you think it should. All right, so I can't do that. The form.value. Why is my form valid? All right, let me just delete that line. And maybe we'll leave it like this for now, just broken or with a bug, a potential bug in there. And we'll figure out a way to fix that later on. I'm starting to think that I wish I hadn't deleted all of that. I wish I hadn't deleted all the code on the front end that showed me what the values were. I mean, maybe we'll just have to bring it back. Let's, maybe that's what we have to do. So we do column, small. Let's go all the way across. I mean, we have time. We might as well. Div.column.small. That's the end of the form. Let's see if this is okay. Is this okay? Can I see? Yeah, that'll work. Whatever. So instead of an H2, I'll make it in like an H. I'll make it an H5, so it's a little bit smaller. And I think we should be able to display what's inside here by doing f dot. Hey, Vinny. Have you considered also streaming to Twitch in the science tech category? I feel like you could get some more viewers. Yes, Vinny. So I was. How are you doing, by the way? It's been a long time. I was actually gonna do this stream back. I was gonna go back and forth between YouTube. Actually, what am I doing? Hold on. I just noticed that I just commented it out. I didn't delete it. So let me just delete everything I just made, and I'll just comment this back in. All right. Sorry, I got off tangent there. But yes, I was gonna do Twitch, but then hold on 1 second. Let me just clear this. Get this thing. How do I uncomment this? All right, we'll just have to do it the manual way. And let's bring in the this. I don't want to see this stuff. There we go. I am a human bio major. Cool. Glad to hear. I like bio. That was my major in school. Um, but yeah, so I was gonna do Twitch. I was gonna go back and forth between YouTube and Twitch, but then I decided not to just because I figured after the first live stream on YouTube, I was just gonna be stay consistent with YouTube instead of splitting up the thing. And I think one or two people during the first stream were like, "What's Twitch?" So I was like, you know what? I already have like, a little audience on YouTube. I might as well just continue streaming on YouTube. And if anyone feels like coming in saying hi, they could do so. Plus, I didn't feel like if I went on Twitch, I would be starting at zero pretty much, and hoping that people would stumble upon it, or, I mean, not even that. I just decided to stick to YouTube and have it all on YouTube. But I'm not against doing Twitch in the future. I think something like this, live streaming like this, is probably better suited for Twitch. I have seen in the science and tech category that there are other people that are coding and doing things like this on Twitch. Whereas for YouTube, it's not, you don't really stumble upon like someone streaming something like this on YouTube. Like you already have to be following them and be like, oh, I want to see what they're live streaming. But this isn't really like something that I think most of my followers or subscribers are going to be like, oh, I got to watch this 4-hour stream to learn something, because I could do better when I'm trying to teach something. But just to like hang out and have fun, this is fun. This is all right. Tech category is small but growing, and yeah, on YouTube you get exposure. You're right, yeah. But like I said, I'm not against Twitch. If I do this again, I don't know if I would do this again. I would do it again. Or maybe like, 1 day a week. Maybe what might be more realistic is like 1 day a week or 2 days a month or something like that. Once every other week, like on a Friday, just to do like, a late night 4-hour coding session or something for anyone that has questions, maybe from some of my other videos, or just wants to hang out, ask questions, chill. Doing something like this might make sense like once a week or once every other week, just for fun, not just to like have something different and like be able to interact with the audience, because I think that's what's missing on YouTube. The only interaction that there is like comments on old videos, but that doesn't feel very like, I feel like that's where Twitch is amazing, where like the way that they've set up their thing. But I've enjoyed this. I've had a bunch of random people come in and say hi or say like thanks for an old video that you helped me with or whatever. So it's been good. I've enjoyed it, but I don't think I would want to become I don't want to become a coding streamer. I don't think after doing this month, I don't think I would enjoy having to do this again like the way I have been. I like it. I like doing things. I would enjoy doing it for fun, or like, just to mix things up a little, but not because I'm forced to. If I was streaming, I think, actually, yeah, I'll stick with that. That's what I would say. Where are you going to school right now? And have you guys started yet? It's almost the end of August, so we're coming up on college time again, the start of the new semester. And now we'll be able to see if the form is valid here. Still false. Okay, so that's good. Hunter, I'm a senior. I start in 2 days. Awesome. Well, good luck on your senior year. Feel free to keep in touch. It's been way too long. And you've been working out, right? I think I could have sworn I saw you with like Rakib. Or someone else. Who was it? All right, let's see if this... let's see how this form validity thing works. File number. Still false. Good. Now, if I choose a school... Got human bio 400 this year. And yes, your child's Rakib. Rakib is a funny character. valid is false. So now when I choose something, it says false. That's good. But if I choose another one, it still says false. That's good. But if I choose a training, that gets set. But now, and so it's valid equals true. But now if I choose another training, oh, we could see what's happening here. So when the training gets set, it doesn't get deleted. It doesn't get cleared out if I choose a different one. I'm so glad I did not delete this. And I just commented it out. Got human bio 400 this year. Death. Is Hunter doing online only classes, or are you going to be going in like once a week or something for labs or something? Actually, you want to know something funny, Vinny? I still have your Steam card. I still have the card. I haven't used it yet. So you have to recommend me a game that I should download and play. It's been I never was able to pick a game, so all online. Wow. So they decided to do that. Yeah, it's hilarious, actually. I mean, it's kind of funny. It's sad in a way that I've never been able to choose a game, but I really haven't been playing games. So if you want it back, if you want to buy a game and it's like, whatever, I'll give you the code if you want. Yeah, almost all colleges changed online in the past month. Yeah. Yeah, my cousin's going to NYU. She's just starting in, I guess now, like next week or something. And she actually moved to the city, I heard. But I don't know if her classes are online or in person or how that's going to work. I should talk to her. I should find out. It feels like every school is different. All right. Well, I mean, I'm going to keep the card anyway. I'm never going to throw that thing out. But okay. All right. So what's happening is that my training doesn't get cleared out when I choose another program name. So I should make sure that the training does get cleared. So value training. What is the value selected program? That's what it is, right? No. It's the value selected training. So that I must clear out when the selected training. I have to make sure that this gets cleared out whenever I click on a program. So right over here, do I want to clear it out? Selected program equals this dot the form dot value, but I should clear it out. I should clear it out. Okay, so when should I clear it out? Maybe after it updates the training titles, dates, and times. Would that make sense? But then will I be able to, when I submit, will I be able to, on submit, will I be able to capture the value of that? Or will it be empty if I clear it out here? So what I'm thinking is maybe after all this, I just clear out the value of selected program. But then if I do that every single time, when I click submit, it might be gone. And that's not what I want. So maybe what I could do is, if it's not empty, if there's something in that value, then I'll clear it out, because that means we're clicking a different program. But if there is something, we just leave it as is. All right, so let's maybe that'll make sense. Let's do. All right, if this dot the form dot value, no, this dot the form dot selected, no, hold on. what is it? This dot selected program. So if that exists, if it doesn't equal an empty string, that means there's something in there, so we should clear it out. Wait, hold on. Does this make sense? Let me see if I can detect when it's actually full. Okay, so if this, I'm going to console.log. There's something in here. Let's go with that. So if it's not empty, that means there's something in there already. Okay, let's try that out. So if I click here and then click on something else, there's something in here. But that's not true. That is not true. It should only say that if there is something in there, and there isn't right now. In the training. What did I call, what is the, maybe not selected program, but this dot trainings. If it's empty, okay, so let's see that. Oh, okay, so we'll do, there's something in here, else it's empty. What games have you been playing, Vinny? Or have you been playing games, or are you just like, you know, you're focused on schoolwork or doing something else? I'm going to head out. I don't want to distract you too much. I'm going to definitely peek my head into streams here and there, so I'll be watching. And for anyone else watching, know that this man is one of the best teachers I ever had. I appreciate that, Vinny. Definitely appreciate that. And you were, I think, Vinny, you might have been my first subscriber. And if you weren't my first, then you were in like the top 5 or the first 5. If I'm not mistaken, I think I can see like a list of my subscribers. And I think you might have been my first. But I could be wrong about that. We'll see. You've been playing games. I have been playing games. I stopped for a while, but I was playing Dark Souls, War Thunder, and Fall Guys. Random stuff. Haven't even heard of those games. I have no idea what that is. I was thinking of getting back into gaming with Halo Infinite, but I mean they delayed it because the thing that they showed was like terrible, or everyone started complaining about it. So I was thinking of getting back into gaming with Series X. I miss Halo. I used to love playing Halo, but all my friends got older and they kind of like stopped playing games. Some of them still play, but not like Halo stuff. So if this dot trainings is empty, isn't empty. So this is not equal to empty. There's something in here, otherwise log empty. So let us see. There's something in here, but there isn't. If this dot trainings, maybe we'll do it is equal to an empty string. We'll do empty. So in here, we'll say empty here. And then otherwise, there's something in there. RIP, and I don't play with anyone else now. I was working out more until Rona, then got out of whack. Yeah, that kind of messed up everyone's plans and lives got like screwed up. I mean, in some ways it's been kind of like as long as you haven't gotten sick, and it's been kind of like eye-opening, maybe in like realizing what's important and stuff. But yeah, it definitely threw some people off with the gym. All right, let's try now. Did I save? Yes, I saved it. Let us try again. Why is it saying there's something in here? That is not true. Hey, I was taking public health, so I got to see real world examples. Sheesh, yes. And if you did any like immunology classes, or if you remember anything from like learning about how viruses spread or something, then watch the movie Contagion. That will kind of blow you away, because that kind of like nailed exactly how it's been. Well, minus the death rate. I think in the movie they killed like, I think like 25% of the world like died or something. But selected training, that's what it is. What did I name it? This dot selected training. Okay. Let's try now. Empty, empty, empty. If I choose a training and I change it, it still says empty. What? It shouldn't say empty. Oh, wait, hold on. If I choose a training, it should say empty. Hold on. What am I doing? When I select a program, how about instead of when I select a program, when I select a... Whoa. Wait, let me think. And actually we could remove this comment because I already fixed it. Well, thanks for stopping by, Vinny. It was good catching up. Good talking to you. Keep in touch. I kind of, it's hard for me to say what I'm going to do because I have no idea what I'm going to do, but I would like to kind of continue streaming maybe once in a while, maybe, at the very least once a month, just as long as I could do like a consistent schedule. So it's like, maybe every 14th or every 14th and every 30th or something of the month, or every second Saturday or something. I don't know. Yeah, but once I'm done with this, I want to start making some more videos, and because the school year is starting, and this hasn't been good for the subscriber base. I've been losing subs because of these videos, these streams. All right. Let me just log out what, instead of console.logging the, let's log out the selected training. Console.log this.selected training. And then I'll add a yo to the end of that. So now when I click on one of these, it just says there's nothing there. It's an empty string, yo. Another empty yo. If I choose one and then I choose another, why is this giving me, hold on, what did I name this? I'm definitely doing this wrong. When do I set selected training? This dot trainings. Do I even use it? Selected training. You got to be kidding me. Do I not use it at all? I just submit it in the form, but I don't have it in the component. That's possible. Oh my gosh, did I mess that up? All right, let's think this through. If we look at this, we are seeing that the school program name, actually, where am I getting the school drop down? No, the training dates and times. I'm creating it. Training of trainings. So it's coming from trainings, and I'm naming it selected training. I think I have to, oh, you know what I have to do? I have to grab it from the front end. I don't ever set it inside of here, so I have to grab it from the front end. So I have to do this dot the form. That will allow me, that's why I made a view child, so that I could grab things from the front end on this line, and I could grab it from the form. This dot the form dot selected training, I think, or maybe dot value dot selected. How do I access it? This dot the form dot something else. I'll pop my head in next time. Feels good to hear from you again. Very smart. Stay smart. Thank you. And a little brain emoji. Thank you so much, Vinny. Have a good night. Thanks for stopping by and saying hi. Okay, this dot the form dot. All right, how do we access it? That maybe it's value dot selected training. That's what it is, I think. And then it'll say yo. So this will grab it. This will literally grab it from the front end. It should. So when I click this, it says undefined yo. That's good. We want it to be undefined unless we choose something else. Now it's set. Now it shouldn't be undefined. So now when I click on another program, there it is. So it has that. But if I click on another, it should clear that out. So here we go. We're good. This is how we do it. All right. So this. All right. So if this dot selected training equals empty. So if it's empty. All right, let's think it through. If it's this dot the form dot value dot selected training, if it's empty, no, I want to do if it's not empty, or maybe not empty, maybe not an empty string. Maybe I want to do undefined. Maybe I want to set it to undefined. If it equals undefined, I'm going to say empty. When I choose the program handler, it's empty. Else, say there's something in here. All right, let's try that out. So right now, when I click it, it should say it's empty. It's empty. Whoa. Why does it say there's something in here when I click it? When I click the other one, it should not do that. Is it changing the value? Oh, wait. Am I changing the value of selected training? This dot trainings. If I click on one, this dot trainings equals this dot. But it is selected training that I want to grab, right? Yeah, f.value.selected training. So the form.value.selected training. All right, I'm doing something wrong. But it is here. I just have to think through it slowly. Like my brain is just like fried right now. It does not want to process this. So I have to go really slowly and like think out loud and talk it out and solve it like that. Selected training is required. Let's talk it out. Selected training is required. When I click on select program handler, when I click on a radio button, it is running select program handler. Select program handler right now is checking to see if the selected training is undefined. If it is, it says it's empty. If it's not, it says there's something in there. Forgetting this, ignoring this, when I click on a radio button, it's not until I actually select a program, though. Well, how do I select a program? So when I select the program, where is that? Selected training. Here we go. So let's training of trainings. Training.date, training.title. And I guess it's naming it selected training. Which I can access right here. This at the form.value.selected training. Maybe I'll just log it out. I think I did it before, but I can't remember what happened. So, sorry. Log this dot the form dot value dot selected training. And then I'll just add a haha. Okay, so when I click on a program, it says undefined haha. That's fine. But when I click on another program, it just says haha, so it's not undefined anymore. And that's not good, because if I just clicked on a program, it should not give selected training a value. Why would it give selected training a value? Oh no. Is it because of this? The content of this attribute represents the value to... Oh my gosh. Oh, should this option be selected? If this attribute is omitted, the value is taken from the text content of the option element. Ooh, maybe that's why? The content of this attribute represents the value to be submitted with the form should this option be selected. If the attribute's omitted. Let me remove that. So we're removing the selected training. Let me save. Let's try again. So if we click on a program, it says undefined. If we click on another program, now it says haha. We still have the issue. We still have that issue. Well, let me remove the other value. I think I have another option here with value. The content of this attribute represents the value to be submitted with the form, should this option be selected. If this attribute is omitted, the value is taken from the text content of the option element. Let me remove those values. Maybe I don't need them. The problem is that maybe I need the required on the option. Let me Google that. HTML required option. The required attribute specifies that the select list is a required option for form submission. So I think it's the select, not the option that we have to make required. Yeah, the select is the required one. Select name. Each one of these has a value like that. I mean, maybe we could do something like that. The value is... And then that's the value that will be sent. If I choose one of these, can I set it equal to undefined? When would I do that? When would I set it equal to undefined? Let me check that off. Okay, so if selected training dot, does that have any other methods on it that I could see? No. How are we stuck on this? All right, well, in the select program handler, I want to make sure that my selected training, because it's required in here, I want to make sure that if someone has not chosen a training, that this is undefined, and so I can't submit my form. So my form stays invalid. But for some reason, once I choose a program and I choose another program, somehow it gets a value, though it shouldn't. Is it possible that it's getting a value because it thinks, what if I set value equal to empty? I mean, I don't think this will work, but for this first option, is it possible that the first option is causing it to think that we have a value? Selected training. If I click on a program, oh, I removed the comment, the console.log. So if I click on a program, it says undefined, haha, that's correct. If I click on another program, it says haha, so it lost its undefined value. Well, I don't know why. Show trainings equals true. This dot show trainings. When am I using show trainings? Oh, that's over here. So I'm only showing ng if this is true. But maybe once it shows the trainings, then you cannot. Maybe once it shows a training, you can't go back. I mean, you can go back. You just got to figure out how. But maybe when I select show trainings, when I make show trainings equals true, it gives this selected training a value. Selected training. Maybe it gets a value, and it gives it a blank value, though. What if instead of an empty string, I set it equal to, selected training, where are you? You are undefined. Can I give it like a value of undefined somewhere? Maybe, let me try this. Undefined. So now when I click on a program, it says undefined. If I click on another program, it says haha. Nope, that did not work. So let's go back to an empty string. When is that? It's weird because I see it over here. The training is empty. I mean, it's just an empty string. Why is it becoming? Why is it getting a value of empty string? I mean, I should be able to always keep it undefined. If I do, or maybe not, but I'm going to try this. Let's set it equal to undefined. All right, so when I click on a program, well, hold on. I just removed the console.log, so I don't even get to see it anymore. Let us set it equal to this dot the form dot value dot selected training, and set it equal to undefined. All right. Undefined. All right, now it stays as undefined. But I think if I choose a training now, and then I select another program, still stays undefined. Actually, does this work? This might be it. So this will, every time I click a program, it makes it undefined. It sets the thing to undefined, And then when I go and choose something, it gets filled in. Let me log out when something gets chosen. So selected program equals selected program. Update trainings, titles, and times. So maybe at the end of all this, we're going to console.log the, instead of haha yo yo. All right, so that is going to be displayed. When I choose a program, it's undefined haha yo yo. What happens if I choose a training? No, it does. If I choose another training, if I choose one of these, no, it's never getting defined. Now it's just being cleared out every time. Setting it to undefined up there. Does that make sense? Does this work? I'm not running a, oh my goodness. Oh my gosh, maybe. You know what I'm thinking? That the way I made this, I'm extracting the selected training because I did a view child here in the component. But maybe a better way to do that. Yeah, so this constructs the what I'm going to submit. This constructs the form. Like that. But maybe what I can do is have a change listener on the selection. Sorry. Have a change listener on this select. Just like I did over here. Oh, sorry, on this input. This is an input. But on this select, maybe I could have a change listener so that when someone chooses a training, that's when it gets set to something. That's probably what I should do. Well, let's see if this works, and if not, then we'll have to do that. So I'm just going to clear it out every time. I'm just going to set it to undefined each time. So we click on a program. We choose the training. It's set right now. But if I click on another program, it's back to undefined. We see it down here. You see the little number 2, and that means the little badge. It tells us that, it's basically the same response as last time. So if I click on another program, it's back to undefined. Whereas before, it was set to something. Let's try this. Let's see if this works. All right, so we have our full name, address, .com, file number, school. We have our program name. Submit form is disabled. If I choose a program, submit form is enabled. Let's choose another program. Oh, submit form is still enabled, and it should not be. It should be, it's undefined down here. How come this is not detecting it? All right, I think I have to do a change. I think I'm going to have to use a change event in my component. So instead of extracting the value of, instead of capturing the value of selected training using viewChild, I'll just send that in the event, or I'll run the selected. So this is select program handler. So I'm going to name this select training handler, I guess. Name is selected program. Name is selected training, and we're just gonna we'll try this. Change Actually, let me just make sure that select has that change handler. Okay, so, and I have not forgotten that I'm going to try to create this into a PDF in a little bit. I already installed Puppeteer off stream to so that I didn't risk taking down the stream when I do download that, because it's a big package. All right, so let us type in HTML select change event. Is that it? When the element is checked by clicking or using the keyboard for input, input select and text area elements, but I'm using an option. So let me type in HTML option change event. But I don't want to do on change like this. I want the default built in. Or maybe I have to do Angular. Let's type in Angular. How can I get a new selection in event? How to add on-change events on drop-down in Angular. So we could put the change on the select. Option, value. Let's try that. Let's see if we can detect it. So we're going to call this, this one's called select program handler. So I'm going to call this the select training handler. And when that gets fired, we're going to run select training handler. And we're just going to run an alert. Hi. Let's see if this works. So if I choose a training, we should get an alert. And we do. It says hi. Perfect. If I choose another one, it says hi. If I choose a program, good. Okay, so that's good. That's what I want. So select training handler. I think that's where I'm going to have to so what I'll do is, if a program was already selected. No, hold on. Let me think that through. So I think I should be able to display the selected training with the handler. So let's alert, and we're going to do this dot the form dot value dot selected training. So now when I click on a training, it should give me an alert with that training. But I want to see if this has a value when I click on the select program handler. Let us comment out this undefined thing, because that wasn't really working. And we'll display the value over here. Actually, if I look over here in the code, this f.value.selected training. I mean, why doesn't this say undefined? All right, let's see. So when I click on a training, we see that it gets set. There it is. It's set over here. But if I click on another program, it does not get cleared out. If I click on another program, it does not get cleared out. So I think I do need that set it equal to undefined thing when I select a program. That makes sense. That might make sense. When I select a program, no matter what, set that equal to undefined. There it is. Undefined, haha. When I choose a training, it says the training in my alert, and there it gets set over here. If I choose another program, this down here should get deleted because it's now undefined. And it should say undefined, haha again. So let's click on another program. And it gets cleared out, and this is undefined. If I choose another training, it gets filled in. If I choose another program, it gets cleared out, undefined, haha. If I choose another program, all right. So I mean, this looks like it should work. Let's see. Let's refresh. Let's have our full name, file number, random school. Here's a moment of truth. We have we choose a program. Submit form is still inactive or still invalid. If I choose a training, it should become active. Good. If I choose another program, it should become inactive. And it does not. I mean, what happens if I submit the form right now? I mean, it prevents me from submitting. And it says select an item in the list. But maybe what's happening is that, I mean, right now, I mean, look at this. It says that the form is valid. It's maybe what we have to do is check to make sure that it's, oh my goodness. Maybe what I could do is inside of, well, hold on, valid is read only, so I can't even set it. We found that out before. How could it be valid? It's empty. What an issue here. Let me just comment out this alert. The training handler is working. It's able to detect when things were changed right here. Maybe because it's given it a value. Let me remove that again. Oh my goodness. Tell me that was it. All right. That file number, school, false. Okay, it's still false. That's good. Units. There we go. Now it's true. Now when I click on another program, it doesn't get set to false. How do I like reset the validity? Maybe I could type that in. Angular reset form validity. Or Angular recheck validity. Force Angular to recheck the field validity. Oh, but this is Angular.js. This is the previous set of Angular. Recheck form state, Angular 2. Maybe that's something that if I did a reactive form, I wouldn't have to deal with these problems. But with template driven, it's an issue. Angular form valid. Not working. Form valid when not. I mean, I put required. Maybe it's because... I don't know. I truly do not know. It's such an edge case, though. I mean, luckily the front end is still catching it. So someone can't... Even though it's bad UX that the person can now submit the form... Or it looks like they could submit the form, but when they try, sorry, not in this exact scenario, but when they try to submit the form, so if I choose another thing, when they try to submit a form, oh, shoot, now it's like actually going through. That's not good. Before it was saying, what was it saying? It was saying like, please check out the thing. All right, so now this is a problem. It's a problem, but I don't really want to spend the time on it right now. And so we still have all of our people in our forms. Yeah, this isn't something I really want to spend too much time on. I mean, I've already spent, what, like an hour on this? But, I don't know. I don't really want to spend the time to try to figure out why. I'd rather just keep moving forward right now. Like I gave it an honest shot. I tried a bunch of things. I thought about it. I was thinking out loud. I don't know. I mean, how it's it's so hard to know when to give up or move on. How does this required work? Maybe it's Angular required is different or something. Angular required form field or form input. Angular required attributes. ng model required. I mean, I have ng model on that. See, right there, ng model. You know what? I don't know. No, it's not that one. It's this one. Sorry, the select. Maybe because I took off the value then. Value equals that. So maybe that's why it was allowing me to hold on, let me all right, so there it's enabled, but if I choose another program, now it should be disabled even though it's not. But when I try to submit the form, it says select an item in the list. All right, so giving it that empty value helped for at least catching it on the front end. Whereas just before, when I removed that value attribute and setting it equal to an empty field, it was allowing me to submit and then getting an error back. But the user wouldn't have seen that because I don't really display that error on the front end. Okay, so I mean, at least it prevents the person from submitting the form until they choose an item in the list, right? What if they try now? What if they try now? What about choose school? Can they get away with choosing a school when they haven't? Great job. The form was submitted. Hold on. How did that go through? All right. Let me. Oh no. ASDF. Oh, but I'm not displaying their thing. Did I not make the school required? See, I mean, something that seems, this project seems so simple, but it's like there are so many things that can go. I did make it required. Let's see what that looks like in the database. The project seems so simple, but selected school is PS2. Once again, like it was selected, but it was never unselected, or the value was never cleared when it was select. I think I need to put that value thing back in the option here. Value, set it equal to empty string. All right, now let's try it again. So like these little edge cases, these are the things that like if you don't anticipate how the person could screw this up, how your users will make mistakes, or what they could possibly click in a specific order, the sequence matters. The sequence of like what they do. You could, if you just test it out by doing it perfectly every single time, you're never going to know how, like where there could be an error, where there could be a bug. So like right now, if they select this and then choose, choose your school. Okay, that makes it invalid. That's good. So that is great. All right, so now they can't do that. So I guess I just needed that valid thing. The value and set it equal to empty. Set that equal. Oh, you know what? Oh my gosh. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's possible that it doesn't get cleared out because it's reading what's inside of here. Maybe I need to put value on this option as well. Wait, is that it? Is that why? No, because this value does get set. Selected name is selected school. What's the name over here? Name is selected training. So what I was thinking that it's possible that maybe it is it's not being cleared out because of the stuff between the options. What does it say again? The content of this attribute represent the value to be submitted with the form should this option be selected. If the attribute is omitted, the value is taken from the text content of the option element. Maybe I need to add value to this. That value attribute to this option. Let me Google what value does. HTML option value. Oh my goodness, I just got scared. Hey Google, stop. Hey Google, stop. Sorry about that. It scared me completely. I thought someone walked in. Okay. Let's see what the option value attribute does. The value attribute specifies the value to be sent to the server when the form is submitted. The content between the opening option and closing option tags is what the browsers will display in a drop-down list. However, the value of the value attribute is what will be sent to the server when the form is submitted. If the value attribute is not specified, the content will be passed as a value instead. If the value attribute is not specified, the content will be passed as a value instead. If the value attribute is not specified. So if we don't add the value attribute, the content, whatever is in between the things will be passed. Okay. What if in the value what if we just put empty value? What does that do? No, not the option tag. Let's look at here, the developer. So like this, please choose an option. What if we set the value to whatever's inside of the HTML option element? No. I'm trying to think what happens if we set value to nothing, if we just write value. Or maybe we set value here, and each option, we set its value to equal the training. Training date. I mean, everything in here. Literally, this is what I want to... Could I do something like that? Let's find out. Okay, let me go back to my form app. Name, email address, file number. Oops, file number has to be a number. School, program name, choose the training. There it is. If I choose another program, it should... Doesn't work, but I mean the empty value thing. That's weird. How come it just it's if I choose the empty one, then it becomes invalid. But if I choose another program, sorry, if I choose a training date, title, time, but then I choose another program, it still stays valid. But if I try to submit it, then the HTML is catching that. All right, so that didn't help out at all, this value. I mean, what if I just put value by itself? Just value like that. What if I put empty? Okay, so let me Google that. Let's type in HTML value no value default. Just value like this. What will it do? What was the person trying to accomplish? I have a very weird requirement wherein I am required to have no option selected by default in the drop-down menu in HTML. However, I cannot use this because for this, I will have to do validation to handle the first option. Can anyone help me in achieving this target without actually including the first option as part of the select tag? Select an option. This will be displayed by default. But if you choose an option, you will not be able to select it back. You can also hide it by adding an empty option. I mean, maybe we could try that. Disabled selected value. Let's see if that works. So here, instead of empty value like that, we're going to do disabled selected value. Let me hit save. See what that looks like. So they choose a program. That's disabled. Okay, that's good. When they choose one, they can't go back to choose the training you attended. So once they choose one, we can't go back. That's good. All right, so let's see if let's see if that works with our validity though. If that affects our validity at all. Okay, name, email, full name, file number, school, units, training, and now let's choose another program. Hold on, units, training. Okay, now it doesn't change its validity at all. That's not good either. Why is it not valid? All right, now we just made it impossible to make valid for some reason. What's not valid? Option disabled, selected. All right, so let me read through this. Disabled, if this Boolean attribute is set, this option is not checkable. Okay, that's okay. Maybe this value, maybe it's because it has this value. Let me remove that value thing. Let's try one more time. There's so many ways. Ugh, it's so annoying because you have to like keep filling it out every single. Actually, with the reactive form, I could automatically fill it out. Choose a training. Okay, so now it's okay. Now that's valid. But if I choose a different program, it's still valid. Oh my goodness. You know what? What if we do... I said I was going to give up, but what if we do value equals, and then we grab selected training? Can you do that? Or do I have to put it in curly braces? Or do I have to bind it? Like this. I mean, let's try it. Full name again, email, file number, school, unit, training, and nope. We, for some reason, it won't let us submit the form now. Okay, that's ridiculous. Because selected training doesn't get set. Maybe, wait, selected training. Maybe let's try with double curly braces and see if that works. I mean, I don't think so. No, yeah. It's not going to work. What about with the single quotes? No. Maybe. Can't hurt to try. It just takes time, right? But time is something we have kind of plenty of right now. Okay, there we can submit. Now if I choose another program, nope. Oh, shoot. We're back to the same problem we had before. So let me remove that value thing. We'll set value equal to empty. Wait, what does selected do? Wait, if present, this Boolean attribute indicates that the option is initially selected. Yes, that's fine. If the option element is the descendant of a select element whose multiple attribute is not set, only one single option of this select element may have the selected attribute. if the option element is the descendant of a select, which is that is true. This is true. Element whose multiple attribute is not set. So what does the multiple attribute do on select? HTML select multiple. So on select, if we add multiple, what does that do? Multiple attributes, a Boolean attribute. When present, it specifies that multiple options can be selected at once. That is not what we want. Okay, no, that is good. We don't want that. But let's remove all this. Or let's just set value equal to blank. And I think that will get us back to... I think that'll get us back to this not being able to be submitted if the training isn't chosen. Yeah, so there we go. Select an item in the list. Once again, I think that's okay. We'll take that. All right, so let us. I'm going to comment out this these lines because selected training being set to undefined didn't help. It didn't invalidate the form for some reason. And displaying it didn't really help us either, because even when we saw if it was undefined or not undefined, we were not able to change its value. We're not able to invalidate the form if there was no thing clicked, if you chose one program and went to another. All right, whatever. We did create the select training handler, but we're not using it. But I'm going to leave it in there for now, just because maybe in the future we'll add something to it when you select a training. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why that's happening. Truly do not. Okay. All right. Let's move on to turning this HTML page. Let's just assume that it's all good, and let's turn it into a PDF. So as I mentioned yesterday, we're going to continue on from where we left off yesterday now. We found this this NPM package, this library for being able to turn HTML into PDFs or into a picture. We saw the example that they had on their website. Yeah, or generate screenshots and PDFs of pages, which is great, which is exactly what we want. Crawl an SPA, a single page application like we have in Angular, and generate pre-rendered content, server-side rendering. Okay. Automate form submission. What? All right, well, we installed it already. Let's see if we can get it working now. Let's see if we can actually create a PDF and see what that looks like. Okay, so let us, and I guess this goes in the server, right? You know what? Let's create a separate, let's not put it on the server. Let's create a separate, let's create a separate file on the top level. So, here's my server. Let us create a separate file and call it the, make PDF.js. Because it's going to be JavaScript, right? Yes, it's going to be JavaScript. So make PDF.js. And here we'll start doing what we need. We need to bring in Puppeteer. So we need to bring in the library. So we're going to do const Puppeteer, if I could spell it right. Puppeteer. Is that 2 P's, 1 T? Yep. And that is going to be, we're going to require Puppeteer. There we go. Next, it looks like we have so I believe this is called an IFI. So this is an immediately, what's IFI stand for? Immediately invoked function execution or something? Immediately invoked function expression, that's what it is. So this will run this function immediately when this file is run, which is okay, which we are okay with. So let's just copy paste that. And let's see what we should modify. So we're going to go to HTTP localhost 3000. We're going to remove the .com. Let me hit save. And this is creating a screenshot with this path. First, let me make sure that this HTTP, this is the correct link. And I'm going to look at my server. Where's my server? Here it is. Server is expecting... Let me just double check that. I'm pretty sure it's actually it's not localhost 3000. It's localhost 4200. That's why my my brain is like, wait a second. Localhost 4200. And I'm sure it's HTTP, not HTTPS. Okay, so let's try that. So localhost 4200. Hit save. And when we run this, it should create a screenshot in this path, in this folder. Let's test it out. Only one way to find out if we are good or if we're on the right track here. So let's create. I'll do it right here. Actually, what is this? Oh yeah, this is where I installed it. So we are in the correct folder. Let's run. Oh, I have to go into SRC. Sorry, I'm in the. Or do I? Wait, do we see it on the outside? Server.js. What did I call it? Make PDF. Why don't I see it? I put it in the form app. On the outside, I didn't put it in the outside. I put it in source, I guess. Let's bring it out one level. Did that work? Make PDF. There we go. Move it. Actually, will that be able to? Yeah, it'll know how to get Puppeteer. Let me rerun that. Oops. So there we go. We should see make PDF. Here it is. Here's the JavaScript file. We're gonna run it. So node make PDF JS, and hopefully, if all goes well, we should see a screenshot in here that gets added. Fingers crossed. It made it. Oh my goodness, it actually worked. All right, we see an example.png. I'm gonna open up a Finder window and open up that example. So let me, where is that folder? Form app, here it is. So I'm gonna open up example.png. And the picture looks like this. How cool is that? That is so cool. I mean, the problem is that everything's empty, but we are able to get a PNG out of it, a picture out of it, which is one step of the way there. Let's modify this so it makes a PDF out of it. I don't want a picture. How do we change that? Create a PDF. What's the difference? All right, let's use this line of code. So we're going to change after page. Oops. Let's go back to my make PDF. After page go. Okay, so I'm going to have to modify this. So after page await browser new page. Let's replace these awaits. And we're going to go to localhost 4200. And the path right now is hn.pdf. We'll go with that. Wait until network idle 2. What does that mean? Let me find wait until. Okay, wait until when to consider navigation succeeded, defaults to load, given an array. Network idle 2, consider navigation to be finished when there are no more than 2 network connections for at least 500 milliseconds. All right, we'll go with that. I don't really care, as long as it works. So let me hit save. I'm going to open up my Finder. So we should see a hn.pdf file open up if we rerun our makefile.js. There it goes. And there is our PDF. And if I open it, all right, I mean, it doesn't look as good as the picture did. Let me just double click it and open it. Here it is. It doesn't look as good as our picture because our picture brought in the nav bar. But, and actually GetForms is losing it lost its color. Look, it's just a yellow outline. But it's kind of hard to and submit form also lost that outline. Versus the screenshot, the example.png. Let me bring that over here so you can see it. Screenshot looks perfect. I mean, this is a perfect, it's a great screenshot of the page. Whereas the PDF doesn't look perfect, but it's acceptable, I guess. Given the circumstances, it is acceptable. Okay, so how would I actually use this to take the data that was submitted and create this? Maybe when they click submit form, that's when it runs Puppeteer. Because when they hit submit form, everything should be done. Everything should be ready to go. Submit form is what should make the PDF on the server. Right? I'm talking to myself. Obviously, I'm thinking out loud. Submit form should run. Puppeteer should run on the server side. Let's try that out. Let me get rid of the example picture, the example PDF. I mean, I'm happy that kind of worked. Not just kind of, it did work. It makes me happy when things work. Let us, and A4 is like the page length, I guess. Maybe they have different pages. Maybe I could do like letter. A4 is 8.27 inches by 11.7, whereas I think letter is, yeah, so letter is 8.5 by 11. I would want letter, so I could print it out. So instead of A4, let's change it to letter. I think A4 is longer too, right? 11.7 is a little longer. So let's change that to from A4 to letter. And let's change the name of this PDF. Let's just name it, I don't know. Let's name it the example, just like we had before. All right, so how do we run this on the server? Let me think. Okay, so what I could do, I think, is I could export this IFI. How do you export an IFI? I could export it, import it on the server, and then run it when the time is right. When we get a post, request, right? Would that fill it in? I don't know. Let's see if we can figure that out. So let me figure out how to export JavaScript export IFI. Is there any reason to define module to exports using an IFI? Pretty much no difference. Using require, having modules. Module.exports. But then how would I, if it's not named, how would I run it? Oh, maybe I would just run the file. Yeah, I think maybe that'll work. So I could do anything within module exports lives in that module. That's okay. When you're dealing with front-end stuff, that's when the global scope becomes of a concern. maybe we'll, okay, we'll name it something. We'll call it make PDF. All right, so we'll do module.exports.make PDF and set that equal to the iffy, that iffy function here. Oh wait, is that right? No, I don't think I could do that. Maybe I have to do we could try, I guess we could try this. I'm not 100% sure if that's right, but maybe we'll try I don't think I'm doing that right. How to import an exported iffy. What is this? Okay, I don't think that's right. Maybe how to export. Yeah, I typed in export iffy. You know what? I'm not 100% sure if this will work. So I'm just going to maybe use the iffy in my... I'll just put it on the server, whatever. Why break it up? I already have everything else in that server file, so maybe there's no need to go crazy trying to get this to work in a separate file. All right, so let's delete this make.pdf.js. Move to trash. Let's go back to our server. Actually, it would have been nice to keep it in make.pdf.js, but because now it's going to run every time the server runs. But maybe we'll only run it when someone submits, right? We'll see. We'll see if we can do that. Await submission.save. So that saves the database. Console.log the form. This is the form that gets submitted. Oh, but how do you submit? How do you send the HTML like that? Let me see if they have any examples. Ugh. Oh my goodness, look how long this documentation is. This is crazy. Oh wait, yeah, this is the entire API. Is there anything easier here? Browser page, Puppeteer. Actually, maybe Puppeteer should run on the front end. No, that's not good. That's not good. This has to be done on the server. But then I have to take the server stuff. I have to take what's been sent to the server. You know what? Let me let's put it on the front end. We'll put a button that says print PDF. Just to get it working. I don't care where it is right now. I just want to get it working. Let's see if we can get it on the front end then. So I'm going to put it in the component. We're going to run. Oh, sugar. How am I going to do that if... if this is using Angular like that, this is TypeScript. Can I import it like that? TypeScript require, can I do that? Can I import it? TypeScript require versus input, versus import. These are mostly equivalent, but import has some restrictions that import require doesn't. Import creates an identifier that is a module object. Emphasis on object. According to the ES6 spec, this object is never callable or newable. It only has properties. So if you're trying to import a function or class, you should use that. Or depending on your module loader, import express from express. Import has some, it creates an identifier that is a module object. Emphasis on object. All right, let's, I mean, okay, that's going to be an issue. That might be an issue. Maybe we could create Angular. Okay, so let's see if we can do that. So Angular require. Require import. Looks like I might be able to. We'll try it. Why not? Why not try it? I mean, never done this before. So const puppeteer equals require puppeteer. I mean, this might give me issues. Do you need to install type definitions for Node? Can't do it. I don't think I could do it. I can do it maybe, but not easily. It doesn't know what require is, or do you need to install type definitions for Node? Try npm I types node and then add node to the field types field in your tsconfig. So I'm gonna have to change the tsconfig to get it to work like this. But I have no idea how to do that. So let's just not do that then. Can we do an import then? Can we do import? Oh, maybe that's what I was doing. I was using const, but let's try import puppeteer. Do I have to do as? Yeah, oh no, equals require puppeteer. How's that? Import assignment cannot be used when targeting ECMAScript modules. Consider using import as from mod. Or another module format instead. Okay, so I'm going to do import. I mean, we're going to do that, even though he says it's annoying, as puppeteer from puppeteer. Does that work? We'll try it. So when let's do when I click get forms, we try running puppeteer. Dot. I mean, maybe that's that. How do we run this? Yeah, actually, maybe that'll work. So, no, it won't work. We need to pass this in. Maybe now it'll know what Puppeteer is. Yes. Okay, so maybe this would work. All right, hit save. Let's open up our form app. All right, failed to compile. Okay, what's our issues here? Can't resolve constants in node modules fs constants. Wait, what are you talking about? All right, let me delete this and see if it fixes all those errors. Okay, the errors are gone. So I guess it's caused by these constants for some reason. Let me hit save. And we get all those errors. Can't resolve path in. Yeah, I have to do this on the server, I think. Right? I mean, look at all these errors. I get like a million errors from like 5 lines of code. What the heck? And I might be, I don't know. Unless did I misspell Puppeteer? No. We didn't spell it wrong. All right, let's remove it. Let's remove that. I mean, maybe it had to be in node modules. Maybe I had to like say where it actually should look. Let me try. Let me back out a couple levels. Node modules / Puppeteer / something / lib / CJS. I'm just guessing here. Puppeteer / common node. All right, no, I have no idea what I'm doing. Let's not do that. Okay, so we have to do it on the server. So here is where I am going to import Puppeteer. Let's bring it here at the bottom. Const Puppeteer equals require Puppeteer. Yeah, I'm not sure how I would do that. My concern right now, where I'm stuck, is that I'm not sure if I can. I'm not sure how I'm going to take what the user has sent to the backend and then create an HTML page on the backend to print out with the information inside there already. I feel like all it's going to do is create the PDF or create the picture, but it will be empty. So I'm not sure how I'm going to put that information inside of the fields before I create that screenshot or create that document. But we'll see if we can. So I'm gonna run it when we submit. So when someone hits the submit, when someone hits the submit endpoint, actually maybe I shouldn't have it beneath there because then it'll never run. Because let's run it before anything else happens. Let's see if this works. Let me hit save. All right, so we're gonna fire off our iffy as soon as someone hits submit. So when someone submits a thing, I mean, this is just page.goto. I mean, it's just gonna go to the site, but how is it gonna fill it in? Let's just see if this works. Let's. Actually, I think Oh no, it's not going to work. It hasn't worked yet. I thought it automatically ran, but it hasn't run yet because it'll run on a submit, and I didn't submit anything to the server. So let's just refresh this page. Close this out. All right, let's see. Let's make this a little bit smaller. Let me open up my... Actually, it's going to save it on the server, right? I mean, we'll see if it works. Let me open up my Finder window. I'm going to go inside of the form app. We're going to go inside of the... Okay, this is the server, so maybe it'll save it in here if it works. So let me type in a full name. Let's do u@u.com. File number is 777777. School, units, training. Moment of truth here. When I hit submit form, that should hit that endpoint. Great job. The form was submitted. Okay, the PDF was created. But it's empty, of course. All right. Let me think. How can I create the HTML page on the server and then save that? Let me, let's look at the documentation for Puppeteer. Well, you know what? And maybe that's possibly why we're also not seeing the correct formatting or the navigation bar. Possibly. It might be because the Angular isn't, it's looking at it sees the Angular, or it doesn't know what the Angular things are or something, or the Bootstrap. I don't know. Maybe it's only looking at the HTML. I don't know. I mean, it is, if we look carefully, this is a drop down, so it does detect those things. Maybe it doesn't detect the fields, the text fields. Get forms. Yeah, I don't know why it's looking like this. I don't really care though. I'm happy that this kind of works. But now I got to figure out how to fill in the HTML with what I've received back. So let me look back at my code. Let me delete this example PDF. Let me look back at my code and think. Okay, so this is the browser. It launches a browser, like, I guess, in the terminal, but it's a headless browser, so I don't think you actually see anything. I think that's what it's doing. Like behind the scenes, it's opening up a browser, like instance or something. It's creating a new page. It's going to that new page. Sorry, it's going to localhost 4200, but that's not really what I want to do. How about instead of go to, maybe we could see what else is inside a page. So let's do await page dot. What other methods are on page? Set content maybe. Viewport. All right, there's a whole bunch of stuff that I can try accessing. So I'm just going to find some documentation that shows us how to fill it in. All right, so let me just hit save. Let's look back at the NPM package thing. Actually, let's look at some of these things that I opened up yesterday and see if any of them help. Use HTML and Puppeteer to create PDFs in Node. All right, every now and then, some of you need PDFs on the server. How many, what's our time right now? We're at 38 hours, 6 minutes, and 10 seconds, 11 seconds. So we have about 2 hours to go for tonight. All right, so we're halfway there. Not bad. Okay, so this says every now and then, some of you need to create PDFs on the server. An example could be an invoice that you want to send to a customer. Absolutely. Actually, hold on, I got a text. Okay. With Node.js, there are not a lot of good libraries out there. So in this article, I want to show you a simple way to create PDFs from HTML with Puppeteer. Great. All right, I already did all that. Now you need a template for our PDF. I borrowed a template from this GitHub repository. So maybe I should just create a brand new template with, and then figure out how to fill in. Okay, hold on one second. Let me see. Because I'm gonna be receiving inside of the post. I'm gonna be receiving the submission form. So I'm going to be receiving all of these fields, which I can then use in a template. All right, we'll see how they did it in this. All right, bunch of all right, wow, this is like a serious template over here. All right, now that you have everything installed in your template in place, it's time to create the PDF. Ugh. Excuse me. Then you will open a new page, set the content to your HTML. After that, you could either create a buffer of the PDF file or simply save it to disk. Yes, which is what I want to do. How do I fill it in? Set your HTML as a page's content. Okay, so this is the template. I could create a template just like this using Node. For Puppeteer PDF to work, you have to set headless to true. Otherwise, Puppeteer will not be capable to create the PDF. If you set headless to false, you can inspect the HTML you created. This is our fancy invoice as a PDF file. Okay. But how did it fill it in? Wait. It's already filled in here. It's a great template, but how do I make it so that it actually adds whatever comes in from the server? Sorry, from the front end, from the client. Florian, you're not meeting my needs. Thanks anyway. Let's look at the next one. Maybe the next one helps. This is one of those frustration posts where I just spent hours working on something and I finally managed to have a working solution. I learned quite a bit, but I feel like it should not have taken me that much time. Anyways, the goal was to create a PDF from HTML, then send it back to the browser so the user could download it. Interesting. I tried a lot of different things, and it's more than likely my solution is not the most elegant or fast, but F it, it works. I consider this post to be a place where I can store the solution just in case I forget it in the future. I'll know where to look. Let's jump into the actual solution. The solution. Let's start with the front end. Okay. This is the function that does everything. We're generating an invoice in my case. A fetch with the post method. This is the part where we generate our PDF with the proper data and generate our PDF on the server. Server code will follow. Okay, on the front end, they're running this. Data, and they're passing, so he's fetching the PDF, then passing in the second argument, he's passing the data object. The third argument is the method, which is post. I think this is React. Not that it really matters. This is a promise. And then then return res array buffer, then res blob. Save as blob invoice PDF. Where's the data? How does the data go in? Oh, this is just, wait, not 100% sure. Let's see. On the back end, module.exports, create PDF, file read sync. So this is the template, the HTML. How do we pass it the data? Set content. Okay, hold on. This is the page.set content. But how do you pass it the data? This is going to... maybe from the request? Yeah, on the back end, the request would be coming in from the client. So where does he pass in what's been requested? Path.resolve dir name. No. Page.set content. I mean, maybe the set content is the method that fills in what came in from the request somehow. Because it looks like on the front end, he's packaging it as the data object. I just don't see where the data comes in, but let's see. I'm using Puppeteer to create a PDF from the HTML content. The HTML content is read from an HTML file. We store the buffer data returned by page.pdf and we return it to the front end. This is the response converted to an array buffer later. Looking at the code now, it really looks easier now than when I did it. I tried to solve the problem. It took me close to 10 hours to find a proper answer. 10 freaking hours. If you get frustrated, walk away from the computer, get some fresh air, and come back later. All right, maybe I should walk away. Wrong way. Let me go this way. We're not giving up. At least not 1 hour, 1.5 or 2 hours in. We can go farther. We can go much longer before we get fed up. This is great, Damien. From France. English is great, by the way. But this, I don't understand how that data is passed in. Fetch. I just don't understand how the data is passed in passed to the back end, and how the back end takes that data and puts it in the HTML. I just do not understand that. I guess it must be this page.setContent. So let me look at what that does. Page.setContent. Hold on, wait. Dot HTML options. So the first argument is the HTML. Options. Set the page content. No, that's not it. Hold on. Page dot, what else could there be? Set content. Not title. Type viewport, no. Form schema? Oh no, that's from me. I made that, I think. Maybe not. I don't know. All right, that's not it. Sorry, Damien. It did not help us. Let's look at another one. Do I have any others? All right, we got to look at the NPM documentation. Maybe in here it'll tell us how we can pass the user data and stick it in the HTML before we create the PDF or the picture. Okay, let's see. Save files get dimensions.js. Wait, what? Well, let's look at more information about creating PDFs. We'll open that up. We'll read through that. Let me close this, and this. Puppeteer we don't want to close, but look at the size of this thing. All right, we'll try looking in that in just a little bit. As you can see, this is like why I hate reading documentation, because sometimes it looks like that. So, I mean, I'm sure it's powerful. I'm sure it's really great stuff in there, but for someone like me, I have no idea like how to find things in there. All right, let's see. Create value script in the content of making a page. Get the viewport of the page as reported by the page. No. Debugging tips. No. So this is why I feel like maybe if I had the front end do it, but that's probably not. It's probably not the way to do it. It's definitely not the way to do it. You really want to do it on the server. You don't want the user's computer to have to do that, and then have to like send you a PDF. Imagine how much data that could take. So, I mean, not that a PDF is huge, but you shouldn't have your users sending you like 3, 4, 5, 10 megabyte files. Plus, it'll probably look slow on their thing anyway. Oh, great. They have it in TypeScript. That's all right. Maybe you can't. No, there's no way you can't. There's got to be a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. All right, but this documentation does not help me how to, fill in, complete data. So now I'm just trying to find, let me look at, okay, so let's, I did this yesterday. Await page content, but how do I pass the data to the content? All right, let's close that out. That did not help. We don't need alerts right now. We don't need to see how to do a nav bar. This did not lead. We got something working because of this, but we don't need it right now. And let's look at Puppeteer now. Let's look at this big documentation page. Let's see if we can type in or find content. Set content. Let me type in JSON. Maybe JSON is something. HTTP response JSON. JSON value. All right, there's a lot of JSONs in here. The reason I'm searching JSON is because I'm thinking that I'm gonna have to pass. I could possibly pass the data the data that's coming in is a JSON file. It's JSON data. So maybe there's a way to wait a second. What is this? Tracing.start. You can use tracing.start. What does that do? To create a trace file which can be opened in Chrome DevTools? No, I don't think that's right. All right. Now let's keep looking for other JSON. JSON value, result handle, no. Returns a JSON representation of the object, but that's not. No, I don't think this is it. Let me search for fill in or fill. No. What would someone call this? Import data? Maybe import? No. So for anyone just tuning in or trying to figure out what I'm trying to do, I'm able to create a PDF of my HTML using this this library installed. It's called Puppeteer, but I don't want to just have an empty page saved as a PDF. I want the page to have everything already inside of it. So I'm trying to figure out how I could pass the data that I received from the front end into that, but I am struggling at finding something that helps. So import maybe data. Post data, if set changes the post data of a request, HTTP request.continue overrides. Yo, this might be it. Little bug, hold on. Little tiny fruit fly or something. Let's see. Const headers that foo bar set foo header. Origin. This might be it. The post data. HTTP request URL. HTTP request dot continue. How do I have it? Am I doing this right now? HTTP. Sorry, let me look at my server. It's well, I'm not doing the HTTP request. How do we use that? Page dot. Maybe it's page dot HTTP request. Page dot HTTP. No, it's not it. Browser dot HTTP request. No. How do I find it? What object is that on? Dot continue. Oh, maybe it's the dot continue. So page dot continue? No. Browser dot continue? Nope. So what object is that on? On request foobar. So here's the data. Is it sticking the data inside of the... I don't think so, but maybe we could we'll keep looking. But HTTP request, we'll see if we can find something for that. HTTP request. Okay, how does that work? Await page, wait for request. I mean, maybe I'm going about it all wrong. Let me close this out. I mean, this is the same thing. It's the same file. Interactive documentation? What's that? I mean, this is some nice looking documentation, but it probably has the same stuff that I just looked at. Usage. So we got that working. This is the same stuff that they had on NPM. Yeah, this is the exact same thing. Oh no. Did my internet drop? No, I think it dropped for an instant and I think I'm back. I'm noticing it's giving me a warning over here on the side. I think we're okay. Let's double check. On YouTube. Am I still going here? Yes, I think we're going. 38 hours, I see 26 minutes and change. Okay, so we're still okay. All right. I think we just lagged out for an instant. All right, why is this not working? All right, there we go. Browser context? I mean, this might be better. This might help. HTTP request. No, maybe this is the same thing. All right, we're just gonna have to Google it, I guess. So npm puppeteer. npm puppeteer. What am I looking for? HTML with data. Must include data. How to generate an HTML table in a PDF with Node. That could help. Something like that. Generating PDF with HTML and data JSON. Yes, that sounds right. From May 2020, so just a couple months ago. A scrape website using Puppeteer and Node.js. I mean, the cool thing about this is that I could have it hit any website and just take a picture of it, take a screenshot of it, and you know, do that every day or do every whatever, depending on how often the website changes, and then save those screenshots and just keep that running all day if I wanted to. All right, let's see HTML table and a PDF. So I'm assuming if you're doing a table, you are passing data to the HTML somehow. What are these pictures for? I mean, that's pretty intense for it actually kind of looks like Mars there. It's so cool. Wouldn't it be cool to go to Mars? Yes. All right, let's see. Google Puppeteer. Puppeteer is Google's? Maybe. All right, let's see. It's a tool that allows you to do cool browser-related things on the server, like getting a website's screenshots, crawling websites, and generating pre-render context for single-page applications, okay? You can even do form submissions via your Node.js server. Okay. We will cover generating stub data for invoices using an online tool. That might be what I'm looking for. With generated data in it? I mean, I don't want to generate data that's not real. I want it to actually like take in data coming from the client. So one of these first two things might help. All right, but we don't really want to sit here and watch a video of someone doing this as well. Let's see what we could, let's see what they wrote. Create a new file called data.json to have some mocked data in it. You could use the following JSON example. I mean, he'll use the mock data, but maybe I can make it work for my real data. Create a new file called buildpaths.js. Path.resolve will take in a relative path, return us the absolute path in that directory. Okay, so this is how he's creating. This is how he's creating the HTML template that's going to be saved as a PDF with this code. $, open curly brace. So how does that work in, does that work? How are you mixing? Oh, he's mixing it because he's using a backticks. He's able to mix it with backticks. So that means that it's being kind of like read as a string. And then he's using, I think it's called the string, template strings. Okay. Create HTML. This is the table with the table. That is cool. That could work possibly. Why not, right? How is mine right now? Oh, so mine is taking the HTML from the website, getting it from the website. Somebody goes to localhost 4200. But instead of doing that, I should have the HTML template already in here, and then create the PDF from it. Go to, okay, let me see how he does this. I think this is really close to what I want. I mean, look how he's generating the entire table in there. All right, but this is really long. npm run create table. How's he using Puppeteer? All right, so he launches it, creates a new page object, and then the build path HTML. This is the that I think is the template. And then he takes a snapshot of the PDF. Wow. I think this is the closest to what I actually want, because I like how he creates a template in here. So let's see if we can figure out a way to all right. The form, let's look at the form for a second. So the thing that gets submitted, let's see if we can just display the full name in a PDF. So in the form, it's going to be the full name. Okay, so let me try to process this. So how's he doing that? He's getting the data. So our data is going to be in request.body.fullname. If we're just looking at the full name, it's going to be request.body.fullname. Or we could look at the submission. This is going to contain all that data. And we already said that it's a form, so we know what the format this is going to look like, or what the form this is going to take is. I think. Right? Let's think. So this saves it to the database, returns that. How about we put we create a method here. Can we create a method on the outside? Actually, this is JavaScript, so I can't really do TypeScript in here. So I'm going to have to, I could create a, let's create a function on the outside of this thing. I'm going to put that right underneath this. So I'm going to name this function create PDF. And it's going to take in data. So the JSON data. We'll just take in the JSON data for now. And this is going to be, right now I just want to log it out. JSON data. So when I do pass it JSON, I want to be able to display it. And what I'll do is, I mean, this will run when someone submits. So I'm going to put that in here. But for now, I just want to see if I can capture that JSON data. Let me comment this out. And what we'll do is we will, okay, so submission equals the new form. So we should be able to run create PDF also and pass in the submission. And I want to see if we could see what that looks like. And I'm going to just say, I'm going to put something here so we could actually see it and say, haha, plus JSON data. So let me hit save. And when we submit something, we should see on the server, ha, and that same data. So I'm just trying to go step by step and see if I can get through this. All right, so let's go back to our form app. Let me open up my server. Here we go. Yes, this is it. Actually no, that's the database. Let me find the server again. Here's the server, connected to database. That works. Let me submit a form. Just refresh. .com, file number, school, units, that. All right, ready to submit, and we should see the form here after ha. Now, do we see that? Great job, the form was submitted. Ha, and here's our form. Perfect. Okay, so that works. So we are able to pass the JSON data over to this function that I just created, named create PDF. Okay, let me remove the ha, and what we can do is, let me just save it as const JSON data to HTML. I'm going to set that equal to JSON data. So now I could work with it inside of this, inside of the function. So I could pass it in. Let's figure out how we could, actually maybe let's create the template first. So Puppeteer HTML template. Puppet. Let me see if someone tells us how we could just make the, pass in the HTML, and then we'll just use the backticks and create it ourselves. So here's what I'm thinking. Let me actually show you what I'm thinking. This is JavaScript, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to, you know what, let's do it here in the HTML file. I'm going to show you what I'm thinking. So we'll have this HTML. I should have just done doc type. Doc type HTML. We're just going to leave it. I mean, it's going to be basically empty. We don't need a title. We just need a. All right, I'll have the head and the body, but in the body, I just want to say H1, and I'm going to leave. This is my structure, so I just want to be able to see. And I'm going to put a paragraph with lorem and just put a bunch of random stuff in there. There we go. So this is the template that I just created quickly. I'm going to cut that out. And in my server, I want to do something like this. I want to do const HTML template and set it equal to a couple backticks. And now I can paste that HTML here. So this is going to be my, this is going to be the template. And what I want to do is inside of the H1 using a what is it called? A template literal or string literal or something like that. I'm going to do JSON data to HTML. And I'm going to name that, I'm going to just grab the full name. So it should just display the full name. Let me just change the paragraph to, wow, it works. Okay. So what this should do is create a header 1, put the full name up there of the person that was the name of the person that just submitted the form. And if I can get the name working, I can get everything working. And I could create the template and do it like this. So how do I make this? So that instead of using goto, I just load up the template that I want to use. And I believe he did something like that. So load up the template, and then everything else might be the same. So let's figure it out. All right, here's this template. Here's the data. Okay, so this person is also doing something very similar. So we have this template HTML, so look for that. All right, where is the, okay, here we go. Go to, is that it? Is this it? HTML is template data. Okay, so this is a page go to. Okay, so it looks like it's the go-to method. Can I change my go-to method, or how do I use the go-to method in Puppeteer? Let me go to my npm, or we'll use try Puppeteer. Wait, no, not try. We'll all right, whatever. We'll hit the GitHub. Let's see if go to. Okay, hold on. That's not helping out too much. I mean, what I could do is I could save an HTML template file here on the, and then just go to, this path. But it would be nice to just have the template in there, just so I could have everything in one place for now, until I actually get it working. So let's do npm Puppeteer. Let's search for go to. Maybe I'll type in templates. There's nothing found for template. Come on. Okay. I guess let's go to, and okay. So we'll create the path. Or can we just type in? All right, how does go? Let's see what we can do. Let's undo all that. Let's see if we do page.goto, the URL string, URL to navigate page 2. The URL should include the scheme. What are the options? You know what? It's annoying, but I guess we'll just have to put our HTML in a template over here. So let me just create that file. New file. We'll say this is the Puppeteer template.html. So now on my server, I'm going to copy this template that I created. I could remove this this constant. So I'll just put that HTML on the Puppeteer template, save it. Oh no, will that work? JSON data to HTML.full name. How did this person do it? I mean, maybe I'll just do it the way that they did it here. Maybe. Well, let's see if this works. But if not, so let's comment that one out. And we're going to have await page.goto. And we're going to open up, let's see, we're going to open up this path. Oh, wait, it needs HTTP. Uh-oh. I mean, this might work. Might as well try it, right? Puppeteer template.html. No, it's not going to know what the the JSON data to HTML thing is going to be. So when it looks at the templates, it's going to have no idea what this is, I think. Data, text, HTML. Is that where the data was? Create PDF data, receives that data. This is very similar to what we created, actually. Const data was outside of it, though. I mean, maybe it was able to pass it like this. No, wait, template data. Template, where's template? Oh, it's this thing.